Are you ever feeling just completely overwhelmed? Like your mind has way too many browser tabs open all at once? Well, today we're going to dive into some really powerful, practical ideas from the book Declutter Your Mind to help you finally close some of those tabs and find some real inner calm.
I mean, you know that feeling, right? You're just trying to focus on one thing, but your brain is juggling a million others. You're worried about work, you're remembering you forgot to buy milk, you're replaying some awkward conversation from last week. It is absolutely exhausting. And it turns out there's actually a name for all this chaos.
The authors call this the monkey mind. And it is such a perfect analogy, isn't it? It's that restless, kind of untamed inner voice that just swings from one thought to the next, usually dragging us through a bunch of stress and anxiety along the way. But why? Why are our minds so naturally like this? Okay, so first up, let's talk about the problem of mental clutter itself. Because if we're going to solve this thing, we have to understand why it's even happening in the first place. And here's the absolute key. This isn't some personal failing on your part. It's actually how our brains are wired. It all comes down to something called the negativity bias. See, way back when, our ancestors had to be super aware of any potential threats just to survive. That little rustle in the bushes, it might be a predator. So our brains literally evolved to pay way more attention to scary, negative things than to good things, like a nice meal or a beautiful sunset. That ancient survival instinct, it's still running the show today, and it makes us naturally prone to worry. Neuropsychologist Dr. Rick Hansen just hits the nail on the head with this one. He says the brain is like Velcro for negative experiences, but Teflon for positive ones. Think about it. One tiny criticism can stick with you all day, but a really nice compliment, it just slides right off a few minutes later. This bias is the very root of our mental clutter. So what do we do about it? Well, that brings us right to our next section, how to actually start decluttering your thoughts. And the really good news here is that we can absolutely train our brains to be different. Let's look at two super simple but really powerful habits to start taming that monkey mind. First up, mindfulness. And we have to clear up a big misconception right away. This is not about trying to achieve a totally blank, empty mind. I mean, that's pretty much impossible. Instead, think of it like going to the gym, but for your brain. You're just strengthening your attention muscle, learning to focus it wherever you want it to go. And look how simple it can be to start. First, you just anchor your attention on something totally neutral, like the feeling of the air moving in and out of your body. Then, and this is going to happen, when your monkey mind swings over to some other thought, your only job is to notice it without beating yourself up and just gently bring your focus back to your breath. That's it. That's the exercise. Each time you do that, you're doing one more rep for your attention muscle. Okay, the second technique is all about changing the story we tell ourselves. And listen, this one is huge. Just because a thought randomly pops into your head, that does not make it true. It's not reality. We actually have the power to challenge those negative thoughts and consciously rewrite the narrative. Just look at the power in this shift. Instead of getting stuck in a loop of "I really screwed up," you actively reframe it. You take that dead-end statement of failure and you turn it into a forward-looking chance for growth. It's a tiny change in your wording, but it has a massive, massive impact on your entire mindset. Now, mental clutter isn't just about what's going on inside our heads, right? It's also fed by the outside world, by all the obligations and requests and distractions that are constantly pulling us in a million different directions. So the next step is to start decluttering our actual commitments. So to manage all that external noise, you need a filter. And the absolute best filter you can have is a clear set of your own core values. Seriously, think of these as your personal compass. Once you know what truly, deeply matters to you, they become your guide for pretty much every decision you make. And your values can be anything. Maybe for you, it's creativity or financial security, or maybe it's having a deep connection with your family or the freedom to set your own schedule. What are they for you? Just taking a few minutes to write down your top 3 to 5 values is an incredibly powerful exercise. And here is the real payoff. When you're faced with a choice, a new project, a social event, some request for your time, you can just hold it up against your values. If it doesn't align, saying no suddenly becomes so much easier. It's not about being mean or rejecting someone, it's about protecting what is most important to you. So let's bring this all together. We've talked about the why, that sneaky negativity bias, and we've covered the how, decluttering our thoughts through mindfulness and reframing, and decluttering our lives by living our values. So what's the big idea here? What's the main takeaway?
Ultimately, this is the core promise of the whole thing. Decluttering your mind isn't just about feeling a little more calm in the moment. It's about creating the mental space you need to build a life that is intentional and focused and just deeply fulfilling. It's about being the author of your own story, not just a reactor to everything that happens. So let's make this real. Forget about trying to declutter your entire mind all at once. That's too much. What's just one negative, looping thought that you are ready to notice, reframe, and let go of, starting right now, today? Thanks for joining me.